going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome to the 6th episode of the Legacy Syndicate Podcast. I'm Jesse Moon and I have my business partner,
Mark Casera.
And we got some really good topics here today. How many of you want to leave a legacy behind? We're going to talk about what does a legacy mean, and there's 2 different ways that you can leave a legacy. Mark, what's on your mind, man?
Legacy, man. Legacy. Legacy is so important. You know, we're learning a lot about legacy in the church we're going to right now, right? We're new to the area. So we just visited some churches, but we seem to found a church that feels like home. And the pastor's going through this campaign called the Legacy Movement. Yep. And it's funny because the name of our team is Legacy in our financial firm that we're a part of. And so, you know, when we moved to Frisco, there's streets named Legacy. There's buildings named Legacy. There's a lot of legacy going on right
District.
Now. Legacy District. And so for us, legacy had already meant something, right? Because we named our teams after legacy, right? Legacy Unleashed, Legacy Wealth Academy, and then we got some other business partners that are doing the same. But legacy is so much more than just the name. Legacy there's depth and meaning in legacy, and I think in this podcast today we're gonna unpack that a little bit. I know you got things on your heart, I got things on my heart, but I'm excited to talk about this.
Absolutely, yeah. Legacy, man, is. We grow up and we hear everybody throwing the word loosely around legacy. I want to leave a legacy. I want to build a legacy. We're legacy builders. I don't think people really understand what legacy actually means. Yeah. There's many different ways, and we're going to talk about it here today, but we talk about dreams, legacies, memories, things that can carry forward to the next generation. But right. Because we if we talk about and we break down scripture, it says our responsibility is to leave an inheritance.
There you go.
To our children's children.
Yeah.
But we look at middle class America and it's like, how do we ever do that? Because 79% of Americans live in paycheck to paycheck. And they're just trying to help themselves and pay the bills. How are they ever going to leave anything behind? And to go into legacy, 2 meanings of legacy is to leave something that you treasure behind or that the other person will treasure. That could be a tangible asset. I mean, it could be a business. It could be buildings. It could be, I don't know, a trinket of some sort. You know, this is my father's watch he left me, something like that. But it can also be something that you leave within. And that's your values, your principles, your morals, things that you can carry on from generation to generation. And we're going to talk a little bit about that here in a moment. But for you, because we both have a lot of kids.
Yeah, we do.
Right? So as men, it's very important for us to act a certain way, respond a certain way, carry ourselves a certain way, and because we have a lot of eyes looking at us.
A lot of eyes, always.
And we're wanting to help our viewers also learn how to do that for them families. Not just ours, but their families. And I think that's how we're going to leave a legacy as well.
Yeah.
So one for our family and one for everyone else that watches the podcast.
Yeah, when I think about legacy, you know, I did a little bit of research last week. Didn't even know we were really going to do a podcast about this, but just kind of diving into legacy. I'll tell you a quick story. I recently had a really close family member pass away. One of my aunts, and she was more like a mother than she was an aunt, a distant relative. And so when my mom had passed away many, many years ago, my aunt kind of took over that role. Always checking on me, always calling me, always happy birthdays. How can I help you? Do you need anything? You know, and so we built a really strong bond over the years. And when she passed away just a few days ago, it really got me thinking about legacy. And it got me thinking about legacy to the point of like, you know, what are most people leaving behind? Are they leaving behind debt? Are they leaving behind a mess? Are they leaving behind, you know, just a crummy reputation? Or are they leaving behind some type of characteristic, some type of trait that the next generation is going to take with them and talk to their kids and talk to their kids and talk to their kids about it, you know? And, you know, when I think about my life, we're just here in a blink of an eye. Like the Bible says, our life is like a vapor of smoke, right? We're one day we're here, the next minute we're completely gone. What do I have to give my kids other than just money or material things that they're going to be able to take and give to their kids and give to their kids and give to their kids. And so legacy's been a lot on my mind, especially with the death of a relative. That's something important that I always want to focus on. Money's cool. I love money, cars, houses, but what type of value can I give to the next generation? You know what I mean? And I know you had a scare at one point with your health. And you also were talking about legacy a long time ago.
That was, I started living my life different after that.
Yeah.
That was during COVID.
Right.
Many of you went through COVID or had somebody go through COVID that was hit with it. So I was hit with COVID.
Real bad.
August of 2021, right after we left Vegas. And got COVID, turned into double pneumonia, and I lost about 35, 45 pounds in 2-3 weeks. My oxygen levels went down from 100% down to below 10%.
Oh, my gosh.
Where my wife wanted to stick me in the hospital. My mother-in-law, who's a registered nurse, she said, Cindy, don't stick your husband in the hospital. You'll never see him again.
That's a death wish, yeah.
Like for a registered nurse to tell my wife that, you'll never see your husband again. And then Trump, he came out and said, I got COVID. 72 hours later, he was COVID-free.
Yeah.
Because he had that infusion. It was I forgot the name. It was some sort of infusion that he was getting. But since my mother-in-law had some connections in San Antonio, a doctor that had an infusion treatment center there got me in line. 72 hours later, I was good.
Wow.
It was the craziest thing ever.
That's crazy.
And I had to sit my kids down and I had to tell them, like, if the good Lord would have took me home, I was 38 at the time, what would I have left you guys? Sure, a lot of money in life insurance. But did I teach them about financial principles? How to use that money? Or would they be like every other person, go and buy new cars, new houses, new TVs, and then they blow all the money, right?
Yeah.
So what would I have left them? Would I have left them anything of significance? Or would I just been a memory? A potential burden if I didn't have life insurance in place, right? Them having to become a GoFundMe account, barbecue chicken place sales. If you're in South Texas, tamale sales. So I started looking at life every day like I don't have time on my side. And that's one thing we have to understand, guys, is you do not have time on your side that the good Lord can take you home at any time. And I challenge each of you to go and just go GoFundMe.com and go to campaign. And the number one cause for GoFundMe is unexpected medical bills. The number two cause for GoFundMe is funeral services. And take a stroll through there and just look at people and ask yourself before you look, say, do I think they're older people or younger people? The majority will probably say older people. But in reality, it's actually really young people. So tomorrow's not guaranteed, my friends. So yeah, it's... Man, I know you're going through that right now currently. You're actually flying out in a couple hours to go to the wake and the funeral.
Yeah, quick turnaround. Be there, just a day and a half flying right back.
Somebody that was near and dear to you. Yeah. You say she was like a mother for you. What's some of the things that she's leaving behind inside of you?
Yeah, when I was thinking about it, I was thinking about the care, the love, the compassion that this woman had in my life and in the people's lives around her. Always a smile. She was a lunch lady, so she was in the hospitality industry for a long, long time. And her husband owned it was kind of like an inn, but more so like a bed and breakfast, kind of like a family bar type of thing in Greenwich, Connecticut. So a very famous part of the country, Greenwich, Connecticut, and they own this restaurant with a bar, and everybody in town knew them. They would travel for miles just to go and see them. So when they got rid of the restaurant, they settled down a little bit. They had some kids, and then my aunt became the lunch lady at a middle school in town. Okay. And lunch ladies, they're either memorable or they're people you don't want to remember, right? So she was one of those ladies that had a smile on every kid's face, would give them lunch, even if they couldn't pay for the lunch. She'd make sure that they got fed, right? So that was the type of person that she was. And so I think love, compassion, empathy, being there for people, just really, being generous. I think those are qualities that she's definitely leaving behind in my life and in the lives of my family members as well.
That's huge because, like I said, you have a lot of kids, and you're going to be able to pass that compassion, empathy, apathy, down to your kids who are now. So you pass it to what, 6? They're going to pass it to 600. The 600 are going to pass. You see where the compounding effect comes into play, right?
That's compounding effect. And that's what true legacy is. Yep. Is when you can leave a set of characteristic traits, principles, morals, values to the next generation, so that those people will then go ahead and keep perpetuating that cycle and give it to their kids. So I want to dedicate this episode to my Aunt Lynn.
Aunt Lynn, we love you.
We love you, and we'll see you soon.
That's it. That's it. Yeah. So I'm looking at this right here. It says, how are people passing down generational wealth? And when I hit Google, the first thing that popped up was legacy building is a strategy using permanent life insurance to offer death benefit protection along with an efficient way to pass along assets to beneficiaries.
Interesting.
And then it goes into talking about trust, right? Trust is going to be a totally different episode because we're going to dive a little bit deeper into that because there's different types of trust and how we use it. And there's a book by Garrett Gunderson called "What Would the Rockefellers Do?" Right. And he talks a lot about trust inside of that. So that's going to be an episode for you guys. Let us know in the comments. Are you ready for an episode about legacy trust? Real legacy building, my friends. And if you haven't subscribed yet, go ahead and hit that subscribe button and smash that or click that notification bell to get notified every time new content comes out.
And leave us a comment as well.
Absolutely.
If you're appreciating the content so far, if you love it, hate it, doesn't matter. Leave a comment down there. Hit the thumbs up or the thumbs down. Whatever you do helps us trigger that algorithm so that our content gets out to more people. So
yeah, absolutely.
And so what you're talking about right here is more practical tools to use to build legacies, right? You got the morals, the values, the principles, the characteristics that you can leave, but now you also have some physical, some tangible things,
tangible,
right? Tangible.
Rental properties, life insurance policies, investments, businesses, stocks,
antiques, right?
Correct.
I was actually thinking about this the other day. So when Pastor was talking about the table that his family used to sit around, they brought this table up on the platform
with the
whole family sitting there. Yeah, so you got the mom, the dad, and the 3 kids. Well, my wife last year bought a 10-foot solid wood oak table for our dinner table because we got 6 kids and a grandchild, so we need a big table, right? And then I was thinking about, this is where my mind goes. And then I was thinking about Sons of Anarchy, the table that they used to sit around with the Reaper, and then it says Sons of Anarchy. Yeah. And then I was thinking, man, I would like a table where I can carve some type of signet or like emblem that has to do with my family, like a family crest.
That's what Cindy was talking. The big oak table we have?
Yeah.
That's what she was like, maybe we should do that. And what was profound was each person had their own chair, and one was wisdom.
Right.
One was knowledge. The chairs that he had made for the parents were handmade, handcrafted. Yeah. And it had a cross on the top that God's always looking over them, and on the back was a sword. I was like, this is crazy. Really cool.
That's pretty cool. But those are things that you can leave as a legacy to your children, right? Yep. You leave wedding rings. You can leave. My grandfather gave me a one of those flip pocket watches, and that he got that from his grandfather, and so I have that. That's part of the legacy that he left behind too.
I didn't get anything from any of my grandparents.
Oh, sorry. I'm sorry.
Nothing. So if anybody wants to donate some old baseball cards.
Right here, we'll give you the P.O.
Right
box.
Here. Yeah. And that's the crazy thing. I used to collect baseball cards. I had a lot of rookie cards: King Griffey Jr., Jose Canseco, Mark McGwire, Sammy Sosa. I had about 4 Mark McGwire rookie cards. Sammy Sosa. I was like, yes, and then. Yeah. And then the steroid use. I was like, they're worthless now.
Worthless. But that's cool. The legacy that he left, right? He left his family with a legacy of a tarnished reputation.
Yeah,
right?
but now.
Yeah. Now everybody's doing it.
Now everybody's doing it. Like it's the craziest thing. It's like all those people that are locked up in jail for possession of marijuana.
And now it's legal.
And now it's legal.
States.
It's like you got to let those guys go, and then the state needs to pay them for time done.
Yeah.
Time done. It's crazy stuff. But passing down legacy, let's talk a little bit about money, okay? And there's a story that we were talking about numerous times over the past couple of months. It's a story that takes place in the 1800s. One gentleman was in the 1830s. The other gentleman was in the 1870s. So there's about a 40, 50-year time difference between the two gentlemen. And one of the gentlemen was the wealthiest person in the world at that time. And he was worth $101 million. I'm not going to try to do the math on what that would actually be worth today.
Billions now. Billions.
Billions, if not trillions, due to inflation. But he left behind $1 million to start a university, a fund for himself, like a nonprofit for himself, and he left $100 million to his family. Well, guess what? His family had a family reunion in 2006. There's not one millionaire in his family.
Wow.
You know this man by the name of Cornelius Vanderbilt. The $1 million he left to the Vanderbilt Fund is now Vanderbilt University.
Wow.
He left them money, but he forgot to teach them how to use that money. There's another gentleman in the 1830s. He wasn't a man of wealth, but he was a banker. And he had 16 kids. And what happened was he educated his kids on banking principles. And he said the first banking principle is you can take a loan from the family's bank as long as you pay it back with interest. The second banking principle said you have to come together once per year as a family and share best practices. What worked, what didn't work. And number 3, if you don't do 1 and 2, you're cut from the family's bank.
Wow. They
had a family reunion in 2012. You're born into that family a multi-millionaire. You know that man by the name of Amschel Rothschild.
That's powerful.
He left behind intellectual property, not physical property.
Right.
Does that make sense?
That makes sense.
That's a legacy.
That's a legacy. It makes me think of like, what can I do now while my kids are young? I got twin boys that are 10 years old, triplets that are 7. I'm sorry, twin boys are 11, triplets are 7, and then we have a little grandbaby running around. He's 3. So I'm thinking like, all right, I got already 2 generations in my house. What can I leave them on a daily basis other than, no, don't do that, sit there, be good, here's it,
Teach them.
Like, what can I do to teach them principles, values that they can use to become wealthy? Because at the end of the day, we want our families to be prosperous and be wealthy. And that's more than just monetary wealth. That's health, that's wealth, that's education, that's all of the above, right? It's kind of like a holistic approach. But that's powerful. How 2 families, multi-millionaires, one is completely desolate at this point. There's no millionaires. All the money's gone. They do have their name as a reputation, but they got nothing to show for it. And then you got the other ones, the Rothschilds on the other hand, they're born in as millionaires and they're continuing that cycle. That's crazy, man.
It's when you're researching these families, like who's the gentleman that says the further back in the past you look, the further forward you can see. And when we start looking at these big names that we know today, we have to success leaves clues, Mark. And if we look at these successful business owners, these successful families, we have to study them. We have to find out what did they do, what did they not do, because there's 2 different ways that you can learn. You can learn from your own mistakes, or you can learn from the mistakes of other people.
Others, yeah.
I would much rather learn from somebody else's mistakes than my own mistakes.
Correct.
Okay. Unfortunately, a lot of people, they don't believe it. Mark, that stove's hot. Don't touch that thing.
They touch it anyway.
And they're just like, I don't believe him. I got to touch it.
Right.
Like, why does it happen?
Yeah.
That's the craziest thing ever, man, is like trust. Like, where did trust get broken that we don't trust anybody anymore these days? Because we're in the financial industry, Mark. And we've been taught for 20, 30, 40 years to go to school, get a job, open up a bank account, and when we go to that job, the human resource secretary, man or woman, says, hey, Mark, would you like to save for retirement? And you say what?
Yes, I would.
Yes. So we match you 3%. How much do you want to save?
3%.
Well, that's what everybody's doing. So you trust it because everybody else is doing it. And now you're blindly putting money away for 20, 30, 40 years, crossing your fingers, hoping, wishing, and praying there's enough money in there the day you retire.
Correct.
That's the wrong way.
Yeah.
But nobody ever told us that. So now we're coming out and we're teaching them the rules of the money game, what the banks do with their money, what the wealthy do with their money, and how they can do it too. And you don't have to be wealthy to start.
It's funny you said that because when I was talking to some agents the other day, we're in the life insurance industry, and I told them, I said, I'm not selling life insurance policies. I'm offering education, value, strategies, and concepts so that they can learn how to manage their money properly and then pass that on to the next generation. Because when we sit with a client, we tell them, this is how you set this up for your kids. This is how you set this up for your grandkids. Am I right or am I right?
Absolutely.
And that's what we're teaching, right? You got some people out there that are just insurance agents. They're just selling policies and pushing paper. But that's not us. We want so much more than that. We want to offer education and value to our clients.
That's it. And I tell you, Mark, I'm going to tell each and every one of you right now, there's a lot of fake ass people out there that's regurgitating information that they know nothing about. Okay? You have to find not 10 people to study. You need to find 1 to 2 people to study. That's going to give you the correct answer, the correct blueprint to 6 and 7 figures, the correct blueprint to come out there and be financially free. Mark and I, we're here to educate you. I gave up a 16-year military career. He gave up a pastoral background to come and educate middle-class America on how money works. We didn't do it just for the kicks. We didn't do it just for the money, guys. Mm-hmm. We did it because we believe in you and we believe in God's children. And all of us are God's children, guys. Right? So this is about significance and sanctification, my friends. Okay? So much so, I'm going to read a comment from one of our podcast commenters. Okay? I got to add some clarity to this. Yeah,
absolutely.
Right? Because this goes in line with what we're talking about right now. Where people, who said it? Will Rogers said, it's not what you know that will kill you. It's what you think you know that just ain't so. Mm. So we think we know the right way, and then when the right way actually comes in, we challenge it because we think what we know is to be true. Guys, pour your cup out, empty it, and learn.
That's powerful stuff.
So,
if you found value so far, guys, go ahead and drop a comment down below. Share this podcast out to a few people on your social media feeds because, like what we're leaving right now can be considered legacy. We're leaving a legacy in video content so that our children are going to watch it when they're, when they have families and their children are going to watch it. And what we're doing right now, even though it's social media content, these videos are evergreen. They're going to be around forever. So who knows who's going to watch them. So we just hope and pray that we will change somebody's life by watching or listening to our content. When it comes down to legacy, your name is your most important asset. Your name is your legacy. When you leave behind your name to the next generation, what are you leaving? Are you leaving a trashed, completely garbage background of mistakes and regrets? Or are your children and your grandchildren proud to wear your last name? Well, I will be damned if I die and my children are not proud of living my last name and honoring my last name. No. Am I right?
Absolutely. It's all about, and everything you do, it has to matter because your last name's attached to it, guys. Your first name is whatever, but that last name, like,
that should be powerful.
You got to put some respect on it. I don't care if it's 200 years from now and it's somebody over in Germany with my last name. I want it to mean something. Yeah. Oh, you're a moon? Mm-hmm. That's like royalty over there. Mm-hmm. You know. So it's leaving something behind. Let me see this. Just give me 1 second. I'm going to pull this up, Mark.
Yep.
But this comment was very basic. When it was a comment when we were talking about life insurance. When I said when you pass away, your beneficiaries get both the death benefit and the cash value. And somebody commented and said, "No, they don't." Mm-hmm. Like,
I get those
why are you going to tell me we're wrong? Like, we're just going to lie and say you do? This is where people hang out with the wrong people. Mm-hmm. You must be hanging out with a crowd of people that are used to lying to you, or you're used to lying to yourself. Therefore, you don't believe anybody. Okay? Listen, old school traditional life insurance. Okay? You have 3 types of life insurances. You have term life insurance. It's for a temporary time period, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, or 30 years. It pays out when you pass away. But if you work with the new school type of companies, they offer something called living benefits. Living benefits is critical, chronic, terminal illness, heart attack, strokes, cancers, internal major organs, long-term care disability. If you pass away, guess what? You have access to leverage your death benefit while you're still alive to pay off the medical bills, supplement your income. That way you don't have to become a GoFundMe account. The second type of life insurance is permanent. Now there's 3 types of permanent life insurances. The old school pager is whole life. When you pass away, your beneficiary only gets the death benefit, The insurance company keeps the cash value. So you're 100% correct there. Then you have GUL, Guaranteed Universal Life. It does not accumulate cash value, but it's predominantly for permanent death benefit. When you pass away, the family gets the death benefit because there is no cash value. And then you have one of my favorites, which is Index Universal Life, which was born in 1997. It has your living benefits, access to your death benefit. It has your death benefit, and it has your cash value. And if structured properly, when you pass away, your family gets both the death benefit and the cash value. Prove me wrong. That's it, Mark.
That's it.
3 types of life insurances. I want my family to get both.
Yeah.
Therefore, I'm going to go to somebody who knows what the hell they're talking about. I'm not going to State Farm. Why would I go buy life insurance from a car insurance place?
I don't know.
Would you go to the dentist to get heart surgery?
I get that all the time. People ask me the same thing. I know. I know.
Listen, just like technology evolves, guys, financial products evolve as well.
Yep.
I'm telling you, like, I love the comments.
Yeah,
Man.
and
it keeps you alive.
It's just another, it's a physical, tangible asset that you can leave behind, and that's just part of your legacy.
That's all it is.
Think about all the different names that we see across the internet right now. We see Bugatti, we see Ford, we see Levi's, we see Nestle, we see Mars, Hanes, Colgate. Do you know what those are? Those are not just brand names.
What are they?
They're family names. They're last names. A lot of the major brands that we wear on our back right now. We got guys wanting to go buy a Mercedes and show off to their friends, look at the life that I'm living, but they're paying Mercedes family that money and they're making them richer. We got guys wanting to, wear, Gucci.
Prada.
And they're proud to put another man's name on their back. It's the craziest thing, man.
I told you before, my kids asked me, they said, Dad, why don't you wear jerseys? I said, because I will not wear another man's name on my back.
Crazy, man.
I'm fighting for my last name.
Right.
All right. So let's name off some other ones. What's some other ones without looking on the internet? What's just some other ones?
We got Dell Computer.
McDonald's.
We're eating McDonald's.
So I'm going to name one, you name another. Okay. Let's go back. Let's play a game to see who can go back and forth. Let's see. McDonald's.
Colgate.
You just named that.
I did? Oh, shoot. What did I say? Ford. Bugatti. Did I say Bugatti?
You said Bugatti.
Lamborghini is an Italian car.
Lamborghini. JP Morgan Chase.
You're right. Wells Fargo. two last names, Wells and Fargo.
Yep. Let's see.
Name some in the comments.
Yeah. Name some in the comments.
As you're watching us struggle right here.
They're like right here on the tip of our tongue.
Name them in the comments. What you can come up with off the top of your head without looking on the internet. The different names that you know are family names. Yeah. Family names.
They're all over the place.
There's a lot
everywhere we look.
Well, I mean, like all the famous ones, Ferrari and Gucci, and what are some of the famous belts that people wear?
Is Rolex one?
Rolex.
Did you know Rolex is a non-profit organization?
I heard that somewhere.
Rolex is a non-profit organization.
I wonder if Rolex is a last name though. I don't know. It could be.
We're gonna look this up real quick.
What's the moon name going to stand for in 50 to 100 years from now? You gonna have anything that you're gonna?
The moon last name is gonna stand for pride. Stand for power. Gonna stand for a badass mother that don't take no crap from nobody.
Okay,
right?
All right.
Remember that movie Cool Runnings?
Yeah,
right?
Yeah.
So the Rolex family name was found in the USA in 1920.
So it's a Rolex. Rolex is a family
In 1920,
name.
there was one Rolex family living in Louisiana. Mm-hmm. This was 100% all of the recorded Rolexes in the USA. Louisiana had the highest population of Rolex families in 1920. It's a family name. Rolex.
That's wild. That's crazy.
I don't know any people with the last name Rolex.
Tiffany & Co.
Yep.
Bulgari. I don't know what that is. That's some Italian brand. Harry Winston. I'm not sure what Harry Winston is. But that just goes back to show you that legacy, man, you're leaving your last name. And I want to just say this real quick. As we're talking about names, it doesn't matter who came before you.
That's it.
Because if you have a lineage of low-level, mistake-making, garbage, trash-thinking family members, and you know for a fact that maybe your grandparents didn't do anything, your dad, your mom didn't do anything, their great-grandparents didn't do anything, it does not matter where you came from. What matters is what you're going to do right now today. Because you can break generational curse. You said you don't believe in generational curses.
No.
But you can take your last name, whatever happened in the past, and you can decide to make a decision right now to change the direction on where your family is going to go from this point on. I want to let you guys know you have the power to do that. It doesn't matter who came before you. It matters is who's coming after you. Can I get an amen or an amen?
Amen. Hallelujah.
I'm changing my last name.
Praise God.
I'm changing my last name. Yeah.
You know what was crazy is our pastor said their family motto was, don't allow the good to be the robber of the best.
Right.
Don't allow good to be the robber of best. And I think what they mean by that is a lot of people in our world, they settle for average and ordinary. I see employees doing just enough work not to get fired, and employers paying them just enough so they don't quit.
Yeah.
So a lot of mediocrity. And we know God doesn't bless mediocrity. He blesses abundance and excellence, right? So we have to ask ourselves, what can we do as human beings to help light somebody else's fire? Pour a little gasoline on the fire to heat it up a little bit. Because I tell people, because we have people come to us because we recruit, train, and develop new agents in the financial industry, life insurance, retirement planning. And they come to us 30 years old, 40 years old, 50 years old, and they're beaten up, they're broken down, they're limited self-beliefs, and they've been told for all those years that they weren't good enough, that they'll never amount to anything, or it was too difficult, and they feel stuck and broken. So here we are, a beacon of hope for a better tomorrow, and we have to be able to light their fire to let them know that, hey, it's not too late to fulfill your dream and fulfill your purpose, but now's the right time. There's no better time than now.
The right time.
Tomorrow is the killer of dreams.
Sure.
And what is it? Procrastination is the assassination of your final destination.
Oh, that's probably, say that one more time.
Procrastination is the assassination of your destination. And too many of us procrastinate. Now, because we've been taught, be consistent, and we'll get to where we want to go. But I want to let you know, for all you guys and gals who are overweight, guess what? You're consistent, but you're consistent in the wrong things, the bad things. You got to be consistent in the good things, right? So, and then I have a question for all of you while we're talking about health. So, if you went to the doctor,
health is a legacy.
Health,
You're leaving your legacy. Are you healthy? Are you not healthy? Are you leaving those principles to your family? Go ahead, continue.
So
I know you were about to say drop some knowledge bombs right there.
So let's say you went to the doctor and they diagnosed you with cancer and you had $1 million in the bank. And that doctor said, if you give me $1 million, I can cure you of your cancer. You'll be cancer free. Would you pay $1 million to your doctor to be cancer free? I'll let it soak in a minute. Think about it. If you said yes, I would pay $1 million to be cancer free, that's telling me that your health is your number one priority. You know what to do, but you're too lazy to do it. Why aren't you in the gym exercising? Why are you constantly eating junk food? Why are you not doing what you know you're supposed to be doing? Just saying.
Bro.
Money's secondary to it.
Bro, that's powerful.
Look at some of the great. Look at Steve Jobs. Steve Jobs was what, 45, 50 years old?
Yeah.
He had all the money, but he neglected his health.
Correct.
It's
correct.
That's things that you and I are like that's what we're focused on right now. Is I know my entire family, we're working out now, right? We hired a personal trainer because obviously we have the financial means to do so now. But it's not just me and my wife; it's my kids too. Teaching them these good habits, because I want to live a fruitful life, man. Like, and C.T. Fletcher, my wife says this. C.T. Fletcher is her spirit animal. He's this big bodybuilder guy. He's been lifting weight. He's like, grow, motherfucker, grow, right? Yeah. He said, and I have to tell my kids, because I have 3 kids that don't eat vegetables. They're teenage boys, and they're like, oh, they don't eat it. I was like, you're not eating for taste, MFer.
Yeah, it's true.
You're eating to fuel your body, right? Yeah. So, but legacy, we have to be more intentional with it.
Yeah, I think that's important, in being intentional about your legacy. Thinking ahead, planning it out, not just living life by the whim, not just trying to figure it out day by day, but actually writing it down. And if you don't know what you're doing, get a coach, get a mentor. save up a little bit of money to buy an hour session with somebody that already knows and already practices and preaches exactly what we're talking about right now. And it doesn't have to be somebody famous like a huge brand name. It could be somebody in your local community, maybe in your church, that is whatever you want to be good at, whether rich or wealthy or has good money or is a business owner or is super, super healthy and has a good fitness routine, whatever it is that you need to improve on, get around people that are going to elevate you in that area. That's one of the reasons we moved our whole entire family from Nashville, Tennessee to Dallas, Texas, was to be around our coach and our mentors and to be around people in this office that are on a higher level thinking that we are, that are making more money that we are, that are just at a different place in their life that we long to be at. And now our whole entire family is upgrading. Our thinking's upgrading. Our physical fitness is upgrading. Speaking of, I just spoke to your personal trainer today, and we're working out a whole plan to get started, our whole family as well. And it's just an amazing thing because when you bring yourself around people that want to win and that want to leave a legacy, you're bound and destined to leave a legacy yourself.
Absolutely. Because if not, you're just going to go in circles in the rat race. Yeah. You're going to wake up, you're going to put your shoes on, get ready for work, go trade your time for dollars.
How many years did you do that for?
Well, 16 in the military.
In the military. And, same thing, every day.
It didn't matter how much time, energy, and effort I put in, I still got paid the same.
I did the same thing for 20 years. Yeah, and I look back, I'm like, damn, I wasted all that time. I could have been living a life of significance, but I was working for somebody else's legacy. I was building somebody else's legacy at that point. But,
I battle back and forth as we begin to wrap this up. I battle back and forth. I'm like, would I have changed anything? I probably wouldn't have changed anything, because I believe we go through different seasons in life that's preparing us. And I believe if I was 21, 22 years old, I was a totally different person at the time. And if this opportunity that you and I are a part of right now would have patted me on the shoulder, I'm scared I wouldn't have seen it as an opportunity. And
unless you had gone through certain things in your life that brought you to a place where you were open about that.
Correct.
Yeah, I agree.
So I accept my past. But think about this, guys. Use your past as a place of reference, not a place of residence. Too many people in America America is the most medicated country in the world. Anxiety, depression. Anxiety, all anxiety is the fear of the unknown, because you don't know what the future holds. Guys, you create your damn future. You create it, one foot in front of the other every single day. Depression, guess what? It means you can't get over something that happened in the past. You got to let it go. It's a place of reference, not a place of residence. You don't live in the past. It happened to you. Do whatever you got to do to get it, and then move forward. You're not doing anybody any good in your family, in your life, if you're holding on to the past and you're staying stuck there. And Mark, that's why two people can go through the same situation. One can come out successful. One's committing suicide. One's medicated. One is an alcoholic. One's doing heavy drugs because they're stuck there. They weren't able to move forward. So we got to really be intentional about how we're navigating these stormy waters of life. And like you said earlier, you got to get a coach. You got to get a coach in your life. And if you don't have a coach in your life who's challenging you, who's empowering you, who's lifting you up, I don't know if you're serious about life. And you only get one life, guys. You don't respond like in a video game. No. You don't get a redo. You got one life, and you got to make the best of it. And if you play your cards right, one life is all you need, my friends. But any closing thoughts?
Yeah, just to wrap it up, guys. I hope you found some value from this podcast. I think moving forward, we're gonna focus on some specific subjects that we all need to do better in and improve in, and hopefully give you enough artillery that you can use in your own life to make some changes. Because at the end of the day, man, when brothers get together and dwell in unity and rub shoulders together, even if you're watching from the other side of the country or listening from the other side of the world, we're dwelling together in unity right now. We're masterminding together, talking about ideas and concepts that could change our lives if we apply them, right?
Yep.
Faith without works is dead. We have to apply them. So I want to appreciate you for a second for sowing into our lives and for keeping us accountable and for motivating us and having tough conversations at times, because it's making us be better people, better husband and better wife. So I appreciate that, man.
Appreciate you as well.
Appreciate you, brother.
And in closing thought, I'll just say, guys, you think people may not be watching you. Everybody's watching you. But you got to have the blinders on. People are looking at how you move, how you act, how you react, and how you handle certain situations. Somebody admires you. I don't care who you are. We're our biggest critics. And you may be tough on yourself, but somebody's looking up to you. And you owe it to them to become the next best version of yourself, guys. Get you a good coach in your life, right? Fulfill your purpose. Everybody has a purpose. That's why God keeps closing all those doors that you don't know why, and he's opening up other doors. Have the courage and the boldness to walk through that door, my friends. No matter what it is, have the courage to walk through that door and have an opportunity and a chance to become the next best version of yourself. With that being said, guys, I think that wraps up episode 6.
Episode 6.
Appreciate you, brother.
It's good stuff, man.
Yep.
Appreciate you too. We'll see you guys on the next episode.
That's it.